All right, guys, here's the second part of our video series, I guess, on building the stool. So we're going to look at the bottom pieces. So right now what you see here is a rendering that I did, 3D rendering, of a half-inch thick piece of wood. And down here, our measurements are, it's hard to see, so let me scroll this up. Our measurement for this is 14 inches across, 11 and a half at the top here. We have a half-inch gap here, and it's 16 inches tall. So now what we need to do is try to recreate this on VCarve. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to go to VCarve here, and first thing we're going to do is we are going to set the parameters for the wood that we're going to use. We're going to cut for this piece, both of the stool pieces that we're going to make the legs are going to be 15 inches by 17 inches by 1/2 of an inch. So you're going to want to make sure that's set up and then hit OK. Now remember, at any time in this video, you can pause, go back, and you can fast forward or whatever. The video is made to be interactive, so if you have any issues or you need to go back or try something, do that. Do it as many times as you can to see where the issues are. I'm going to show you some errors that could potentially pop up, because they are going to pop up, and how we can fix those. When you have certain issues with this, again, try what you see in the video first. If you can't, then one of us can help you. Okay, let's start by making some vectors. We're going to start with a rectangle. So what we're going to do with our rectangles, we're going to start dead center, and it kind of looks like it already found it for us for our anchor. 7.5 and 8.5. That's our X and Y. And we're going to start by making the widest rectangle. So basically what's going to create the bottom here. So 14 by the height of 16. So I'm going to change the width here to 14 inches and the height to 16 inches. I'll hit create. Okay, there's our outside rectangle. Now it's going to be a trapezoid. So now we need to make a rectangle that's just a little thinner. So we're going to keep the 16 inches for the height, but we're going to change the width to 11.5. Go ahead and change that, hit create. And now we have one rectangle inside of another rectangle. All right, next what we're going to do is we are going to close this for now. We'll come back to those and make some other ones, but let's make our trapezoid. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click this line tool, and we're going to go up here. I'm going to zoom in with the scrolling part of the mouse. I'm going to zoom into that inside rectangle, and right where the lines intersect there, I'm going to draw a line. And now do you see this? It's like taping down a piece of string. So it's going to move all over the place. What we're going to do is we're going to scroll down to the bottom, and you're going to take that string and you're going to attach it to that bottom corner. You can kind of see how it snaps in there, and we'll attach it to that bottom corner and hit close. So now we have our single line to help connect this trapezoid. We're going to now do this on the other side. So again, grab the draw line, zoom in on that point, click. There we go. It's all connected. We're going to scroll down. We're going to get me out of the way here. And we're going to go to that outside corner, and we are going to click right on. So now we're going to hit close so that string isn't connected anymore. All right, so if I zoom back out, we try to find the center of our project here. There we go. Now what we're going to do is we're going to start cutting some of these lines off. So we're going to take this tool, this interactive trim tool, which looks like scissors. We're going to cut some of the lines. So we don't want the outside part of the rectangle, so let's cut those off. You can see how the scissors turns open when you can cut. And to make this trapezoid, we're going to cut the inside parts. All right, and hit close. So there's our trapezoid. Now, to check to make sure everything works, let's go ahead and click on that line. Let's click on everything, Control A, and we're going to validate. We're going to check to see if there's any issues. And as you can see here, we have some spots that are overlapping. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close it. We got everything highlighted, and I want you to go here under Edit Objects. The bottom row, the second one in, says Join Vectors with Straight Lines. So if I click that, that should have joined all the straight lines, and now we should have everything connected. So do you see that purple line? Now if you use the arrows on the keyboard, watch what happens when I slide that trapezoid over. You see there's these two black lines. Yours might have that, yours might not. If that happens, that means we have overlaps. So real simple, we got our shape that we want. We're going to click on the overlap lines, like that one there. We're going to click delete on the keyboard and go to the other one and click delete on the keyboard. Okay, now that those are gone, we now have our trapezoid. The only thing we got to do is make sure this trapezoid gets back center on the white space. So I'm going to go over here under Transform Objects and click Align Objects, and I'm going to align it to the center. All right, so we got at least the outline of our stool leg. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add in this gap, and the straight edge gap where the two pieces will connect, and then we're going to get rid of this circle gap. So let's do the circle first. So we're going to go here to the draw circle. And I still want the same center point. Okay, same center point of everything is 8.5 and 7.5. But now what I want to do is I want to try to bring down that 7.5 still in the center. And I want to line up right on that line. So if I zoom in on that bottom line there, and I'll zoom out or zoom to the top a little bit, we're going to find that spot here, 7.5. And we're going to see what it is on that bottom line. You can see that the Y is 0.5. So over here, we're going to make sure 7.5 and Y is 0.5. We're going to take a circle that is a diameter of 6 inches. So that's 3 on one side of the circle, 3 on the other. That makes 6 inches across. Let's find that centerpiece, or actually we don't have to. We already found it. We're going to hit Create. And if I zoom out a little bit, you'll see that that circle is now created on the center point right there. So we're going to hit Close. Now we're going to do the same thing with that circle as we just did with the sides. Grab that scissor tool, scissor tool again. And we're going to cut out the center line and cut out the bottom line. And then hit Close. So now we've added to our shape. Now again, we can always check it. Hit the check mark, search selected. You see we have no issues so far, so that's a good sign. So we are on the right path to making this piece successful. Last thing we have to do is that last little rectangle piece here. So we're going to go ahead and make a rectangle one more time. Okay, so we want to still center everything from the center, 7.5 and 8.5. This time we're going to make a rectangle that is a lot thinner than 11.5 inches. Remember, the thickness of the wood is a 1/2 inch, so we're only going to do a 1/2 inch, but you're probably like, if you only do a 1/2 inch, it's going to be really tight. Well, when we put the drill bit we put the drill bit to the CNC machine, it's going to go over a little bit, so it's actually going to spread it out a little more than a 1/2 inch. So we'll be okay there. So let's go ahead and change the width of this rectangle to 0.5. And the height, when we measured this earlier, we measured that 6 inches is the perfect height we need. So we're going to change that 16 to 6 inches, and we're going to hit Create. Now this rectangle ends up in the middle of the chair leg. That's not where we want it. We want to scroll it up. So we're just going to use the arrows on the keyboard, and I'm going to zoom in on that top line. And we're going to keep hitting the up arrow until that line intersects. So I'll give you a second to do that. Again, you can always pause the video and move around. Okay, now when I click off, you see that we have intersecting lines again. So go ahead and grab those scissors, and we're going to snip, 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 snip. There we go. Now we have a shape that has it split in half. So again, we're going to highlight everything. We're going to check our vectors, and we can see that we still have no issues. Now, if we did have issues, there's tools and things that we can help you be able to figure out under here, under the editing tools. I showed you one of them already by joining the straight lines, but if you do it in this order that I just did in the video, you're going to be fine. All right, now that we have our dotted line, we're ready to set a tool for this tool path. So we're going to go up here to tool paths, and we're going to use a profile tool path. That's one that cuts a path for us around the outside of a shape. So again, our start depth is going to be the top of the wood at 0 inches, and we're going to cut down just past 5.5, which is 1/2 inch. So up here, you can see I have 0.52. You could do 0.51. It really doesn't matter. Just anything that's a little past 1/2 inch, so we know that the blade goes all the way through, the bit goes all the way through the wood. We'll have something underneath it so it doesn't mess up the machine. The other thing we have to do is make sure we select a 1/4 inch bit, just like the top was. There we are. Everything's set. I'm just going to change this step over path a little wider. You don't have to worry about that. That just means it's going to cut a little deeper. We're going to keep it as is, but it's going to do 7 passes, which means it's going to start somewhere around here, go all the way around once, and then twice, 7 times till it's all the way cut through. All right, so everything is set. We don't have to worry about the name. I'm just going to click calculate, and it's going to say, hey, Did you know that that's deeper than the wood? Yes, I do. So I'm going to hit OK. And then it's going to take us to here. I was playing with some before, so let me clear it. This is the path it's going to follow. If I hit play and slow it down a little bit, if I hit play, you're going to see this is what the bit's going to do. So as I said, it's going to follow around once, and then it's going to go around 6 more times till it's all the way through the wood and it's done. So what you see on the screen is exactly what it's going to do on the actual CNC machine. So now that that's done, like we've done before with the other one, we're going to close that. We're going to hit the save toolpath. Again, you're going to save this on the same flash drive as the top piece. So we're going to make sure it's a tap file. I'm going to hit save toolpath. I'm going to go up here to, I think I did it under documents. There it is. And I'm going to rename this one Singer Stool Leg 1. Because we're going to have a second piece that's going to be Singer Stool Leg 2. All right, that's all I have for you guys today. We're going to click save, and we're done, and we're ready to put this onto the CNC machine when we get to that. If you got any questions, ask. We'll see you for the next video coming up.